Yes, students, welcome back. Students, are you okay?
Yes, sir.
We are present, sir.
Sir, present, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now we move to our class.
Yes, sir.
That is, we have finished a new classism and we have looked at the rise of the novel, and sentimental comedy was discussed. Transitional poetry has been looked. Periodical essay was explored. Now we move to the satire. Yes. Satire is one of the important literary genre. Yes, it is much popular in literature. Yes, we can see a lot of satires in English literature. Yes, satire is like, it's not like sarcastic expression, but it's similar to the sarcastic expression. As part of satire, it's a piece of writing and a genre, a particular genre, and also not a genre, but not only a genre, but also a literary device. Yes. Satire is both as a genre and a literary device that holds the human nature up to the criticism. Yes. It is often political in focus, but does not have to be. In literature, many writers they use different kinds of literary devices in order to catch the attention of the this one. And apart from satire, they use irony, humor, hyperbole, or exaggeration. Yes, in blending with the satire. Yes, and in this way we can start discussion from satire. Where do you find the satire? What was the origin of satire? Yes, initially the word satire traces back to the Latin word satur, which means well fed, and was used in the phrase langsa satura, meaning a dish full of many kinds of fruit. Yes, presently the word satire has been associated with these things, though these words seem far far from the definition of satire. Yes, and they were used by the ancient Roman critics. Yes, and the origin of satire, like Aristophanes' old comedy and all. Yes, it was well introduced in the 16th century. The background of the satire is not exactly satire. Around 411 BC, the ancient Greek poet Aristophanes wrote Lysistrata. Yes, it is like a satirical comedy. In this, the protagonist Lysistrata tries to convince this woman with hold sex from men in effort to convince them to an end of Peloponnese War. Of course, it was a satire and talking with the different human things, physical things. And satire was mixed with the comedy in those days. Yes. One side. Another side, the writer was trying to make the war even satiristic, trying to put the war in satire point of view. That is why it was much important. Why do we use satire in literature, or what is satire in literature? Yes. Satire in literature is a type of social commentary. Yes. Many writers, they use exaggeration, irony, and other devices to spread fun of a particular leader or anything or social custom, or it may be tradition. Yes. And no, it was a practice. It became a practice in the literature. They want to comment on and they want to get the concentration of the things in order to question it. Yes. Many writers have kept their best attempts on this literary device to comment on everything from capitalism to communism. What not? Every ism has been made as a satire in various writings of the writers. Yes. But when you look at the types of satires, historically, satire, deals with different things. Satire remains as a powerful tool in the contemporary culture, and film and television, particularly, have been important vehicles for satires. Yes, film and television are important vehicles for satire over many years. Yes, and Horatian satire. Talking about Horatian satire, it is a type and the primitive type of satires. Yes, or early satire, I can say. Horatian satire is comic, and it looks at the social commentary, light social commentary, and it makes the people to look at the situation or any person in an amusing or entertaining way. You cannot find much harm about this satire. You take Gulliver Travels, Jonathan Swift produced Gulliver Travels, best fictional thing and written in the 18th century. And it was an example for Horatian satire in literature, because you cannot be horrified by reading it. Yes, because the entire work, Gulliver Travels, was dealing with the travelogues. Those were very common in the contemporary times. Yes, through these narrators, because we have seen different narrators, Lilliputs and giant personalities, different people in terms of height, weight, knowledge and all. And this travel guide, I can say Gulliver Travels is a travel guide. Gulliver's Travels, Jonathan Swift makes the readers to understand the travel writings and also to understand the process of colonization, and also, of course, in a satiristic manner, to understand the government, English government, and of course, many islands, in his imaginary islands. We can see utopian dialogues where we can find the human nature and the behavior of the human beings when they are in troubles. Yes, and many TV shows also the best example for this way of understanding, especially in American politics. Yes, and Horatian satire also has been portrayed in The Onion and Juvenalian, and Juvenalian is a dark satire rather than comic, and it speaks truth to power. Yes, and one more important satire, of course, it is an allegory written in the satirical manner. George Orwell wrote famous allegorical work like Animal Farm, that was published in the year 1945, which is the best example for Juvenalian satire. Gulliver Travels' best example for Horatian satire. George Orwell's Animal Farm is the best example for Juvenalian satire. And this novel, Animal Farm, it is a target. It is written against to the communism and Marxist principles. Of course, it is against to the Soviet politics, when the world was divided into two polars. One is capitalism led by America, another one is communism led by Soviet Union. It was against to the Soviet Union politics. That's why Animal Farm is an allegorical satire, and it can be read as a simple tale of farm animals, but it has a deeper and inner meaning which lies with the political things of Soviet Union. Of course, George Orwell, initially he was the supporter of communism. Later, he was turned to capitalism, and he was trying to attack on communism in the allegorical work Animal Farm. In that, he opposed the totalitarian politics of Stalin and how the communist principles on the name of equality and all, how they make the people to be away from the natural things and all. But as a matter, the content is concerned is okay, but the ideology is concerned, the George Orwell's ideology cannot be supported in the Animal Farm because he was for the capitalism and he did not understand the spirit of communism and spirit of Marxist principles in the better way. That is why Animal Farm, as far as writing style is concerned, it became very famous, but as far as this style is concerned, Animal Farm is not that much of important because George Orwell was trying to attack on the contemporary Soviet politics in favor of the capitalistic things. Yes, and also the other TV shows like television shows, and like including Hollywood and other things. And coming to the Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, yes, it is another type of satire. This satire is known as Menippean satire. Yes, Menippean satire is a satire that casts a moral judgment on a particular belief, which may be homophobia or racism. Yes, sometimes it may be comic and light, much like Horizon satire, although it can also be a stinging as Juvenalian satire. This particular satire is known as Menippean satire. I gave you Horatian satire, I gave you the Juvenalian satire. Now the third type of satire is Menippean satire, which is Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland is the best example for this satire. Yes, it deals with the pun at upper class intellectualism, yes, but does it with a distant sense of humor. It was a satire on the intellectuals of the upper class, the ridiculousness and the good-natured spirit and all. Yes, and a modern day example is like Saturday Night Live and all the things are, of course, they are elegies. And this is a satire. Satire is basically a work that is written to mock, to ridicule somebody or something. Yes. In Telugu, we call it as like, what do you say in Telugu? To the students of who have the habit of reading Telugu literature or Telugu novels. Can you say satire in Telugu? What do you say about satire in Telugu?
Sri, sir. Sri.
Vengyarachana. Vengyarachana. Satire in Telugu is called Vengyarachana. Yes, Vengyarachana. He's a great man. In fact, he's not a great man like this. Yes, talking about a great thing, it's a satire. Yes. Jonathan Swift, A Modest Proposal, is also a great satire on this. This is about satire and the different types of satires and the content and the characteristics of satires. Right? You understand this?
Yes, sir.
You understand satire and the things? Okay? Students, are you able to see the screen? And on the screen,
No, sir.
no or yes?
No, sir. You stopped the screen.
Okay, good. Following, you are following right. See, yeah, the last one is elegy. Yes, Elegy is like a poem of lamentation or a poem of mourning poem or lamentation poem. A poem of mourning or lamentation is called elegy. A poem of mourning or lamentation is called elegy. Yes. In Telugu, we call it as Shoka Geetika. Shoka Geetika. Yes. Are you able to see the screen now?
Now it is visible, sir.
Visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is their definition for elegy? Can you explain the definition?
Elegy is a form of literature that can be defined as a poem or song in the form of elegiac couplets written in honor of someone deceased. It typically laments or mourns the death of the individual.
Yes. Elegy is a poem which is written in memory and when we lost somebody else or something. In their memory, the poems are written in a tone of melancholy. That is called elegy. Simply, poem of lamentation, poem of mourning. These are called elegies in English literature. Elegy, basically the term elegy derived from Greek word elegies, which means a song of bereavement sung along with the flute. Yes. When we lost something or somebody in their memory, we try to sing the songs. Recently, can you give me an example for movies that you have seen, Telugu movies?
Geetanjali, sir.
What is the title of the movie?
Geetanjali. Oh, Priya, Priya.
Oh Priya Priya, it's like, okay, it's like a sort of elegy. Recently, Oh Baby, have you seen the movie Oh Baby? In that the program that gave in front of the things,
Yes.
Anati Katalu, like that, the song. Samantha
Yes.
was singing a song. What was that? What was that song? Husband was going to the military and his dead body was brought back, and she was working hard to take care of the kid. She was working as a maid, and the entire song was making the people to cry down. What was the song? You know that song? Banati. What was the song? Can you sing any one or two lines of that song? No? Do you know or don't know?
Sir.
Don't know, sir.
Actually, we don't know the lyrics, sir, but I can hum that music.
ఆకాశంలోన ఏకాకి మేఘం
Wow.
లోకానికైనా
Yes. Are you singing or are you singing? Yes, very nice. Who is that? Who is that?
గీతికా సార్.
Wow, Geetika. The Geetika, elegy means Shoka Geetika. Just wait. Just wait. Students, are you able to listen this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Students? Yeah. Did you
Yes.
understand?
Yes. So beautiful.
This, this is elegy. Elegy is basically a poem or song in the poem in somebody's memories. Yes. The tone Thomas Gray elegy written in a country churchyard is the best example. Shokagitika. In the villages, the countryside atmosphere we find when we lost the people, they sing the song. Yeah, you have done this, you have done this, you have did this, you came for that, you came for that. No, people were mourning in a different way and simply not crying. They were singing like a songs type of thing and in Telugu we call it as shokalu vetti edotam. Shokalu vetti edotam. Did you say what do you mean by shokalu vetti edotam?
Yes, yes. We remember all that, what they doing, all that thinking.
In fact, it's
Sad
not a
memories.
sad memories and all the things. Yes. In fact, the tradition, this elegiac tradition derived from the Greek works. Yes, Greek works. And this was much popular in English literature. It was introduced into English literature in the 16th century and by Thomas Gray. And American literature is concerned, Walt Whitman, who was a great transcendental poet, he wrote a great elegy called When Lilacs Lost in the Dooryard Bloomed. And these are the two finest features of elegy. Yes. When we talk about the characteristics of elegy, elegies are identified with the great characters like muse. Sometimes the poets try to invoke the muses and they proceed by referencing the traditional mythology. Yes. And also it goes in the first person point of view. Yes. And the questions are raised by the poet about destiny, justice, and fate. These are some of the themes in the elegies. Yes. And the poets, they try to recollect the association with the deceased people with the events in his own life by drawing comparison and all. Yes, in our daily life also in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, we people are very emotional. We are very emotional. నువ్వు అది చేసావు మాకు, నువ్వు ఇది చేసావు, నువ్వు బతుకున్నప్పుడు ఇట్లా చేసావు, నువ్వు ఎంతో కష్టపడ్డావు, యూ హ్యావ్ డన్ దిస్ వే, నాకేం లేన మొన్ననే నాకు ఇది ఇస్తానని చెప్పావు, పనిలో పనిగా నా దగ్గర 10 lakhs అప్పు తీసుకున్నావు అని కలుపుతుంటారు అనమాట. వాళ్ళు అప్పు తీసుకోవాలి ఏం తీసుకోవాలి అట్లా చెప్తుంటారు. కొంతమంది ఇంటెలిజెంట్ గా ఏడుపుగా వాళ్ళ డిమాండ్స్ గా కలుపుతుంటారు అనమాట. Especially, we see in the countryside atmosphere, villages, right? See, this kind of digression gives the poets space to go beyond the subject. Yes, sometimes it may not confine to one subject. Elegies may not confine to one subject because our human emotions beyond the time and space. You cannot find elegy must be like this, elegy must be like that. No need to go with this understanding. Elegy, the scope of elegy may be beyond the time and space association and all. That is why the poets generally they try to provide a comfort and try to console the pain and the loss of the situation. And biblical sources are the important things in order to understand the Christian elegies. Usually, they proceed from sorrow and mystery and hope and happiness, because they say that the death is just a hindrance in the way of passing from the moral state into the eternal state. A great relief is comfort. It is common in every religion. In Christianity, the people come and they tell the things like moral state, to eternal state. It is a journey. In Hindu mythology, what do they say? In Bhagavad Gita. That is why the people die and we try to listen the Bhagavad Gita. Puttevadu Gita Kamanadu Puttina Prati Vakkaru Gita Kamanaru Siriramlo Unna Bhavalanniyu Tama Tama Bhavalanu Adupulo Unchukuni Prayaninjestayi. This type of comment you can see in the name of Bhagavad Gita. See, sometimes poets always try to get the inspiration from these elegies. Students, did you understand? How you understood my points?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I am trying to make it contextualize and try to make you to understand the elegy from our personal and day-to-day life and conversations. Don't think that literature is something difficult, literature terms are different and all. Try to understand from this perspective. You need to understand the literary terms from the day-to-day background. W.B. Yeats, we know, great poet. When he died, W.H. Auden wrote an elegy in memory of W.B. Yeats. In that, the elegy begins like this: with the forming of a verse, make a word of the curse, sing of human unsuccess, and in a rapture of distress, and in the distress of heart. So that W.H. Auden, in memory of W.B. Yeats, he was talking about the things, and in this we can find the note of melancholy. And also we can see, we can understand the tone of the poet. Similarly, Walt Whitman, he tries to understand, "O Captain, my Captain, O Captain, my Captain." Under this title, he wrote a world-famous elegy that talks about Walt Whitman's association with the dead person. The lines begin with this. I'm trying to make you to understand the beginning of the elegies by making you to look at these lines. Can you read out these lines, starting lines?
O Captain, my Captain, a fearful trip is done. The ship has weathered every wreck. The prize we sought is won. The port is near, the bells are here, the people all exulting. While follow eyes the steady keel, the vessel grim and dark daring. But O heart, 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 oh the bleeding drops of red, where on the deck of my captain lies, fallen, cold and dead. O Captain, my Captain, rise up and hear the bells. Rise up, for you the flag is flung, for you the bungle trills, for you bouquets and ribbon wreaths, for you the shores a crowding, for you they call the swaying mass, their eager faces turning. Here, Captain, dear father.
Right. This is a beautiful elegy that talks about the sacrifice of O Captain. Similarly, in the rustic atmosphere, urban people are urban areas also, people migrate from rural areas to urban areas, it is common, but we find more in rural areas. When they lost somebody else or some lovely person, dearest person, they sell like this: "Oh mama, oh uncle, oh auntie, oh father, oh mother," like this. They cry and cry and they cry. They try to recapture all the things. In general way, the poets they do same thing in poetical way. These pieces are known as the elegies in English literature. Wordsworth written on Wordsworth's elegy on Adonius, and Tennyson's elegy on In Memoriam. Tennyson also wrote In Memoriam. Elegy in Country Churchyard by Thomas Gray. These are the finest elegies in English literature. Yes. Basically, at the end, we will try to look at the functions of elegy. Elegy is, as I told you, it is one of the richest literary forms because it has the capacity to express emotions that deeply influence people. And the strongest of the tools elegy uses is its reliance on memories of those who are no more. Yes. Most of the poets who wrote elegies were evidently awed by the frailty of human beings and how the world completely forgets about the disease at some point. Of course, we forget the last one, dearest one. Yes, I believe that forgetfulness is the gift to the human beings. If we don't forget the things, we cannot live. Yes, forgetfulness is a boon. It's not a bane. It's a boon. Yes, we must forget the things, but it is important what to forget, what to remember. If you forget the subject, no use. If you forget your name, no use. If you forget your examination, no use. If you forget your sad things, it is useful. If you forget your bad past, useful. If you forget your bitter the experiences, it is useful. If you forget the sweet memories, may not be useful. We should forget. But remember, what to forget, what not to forget is important to the life. If you don't forget, we will see the hell when we are alive on the earth. If you forget the things, it is good to health, it is good to existence. What do you say?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Correct, sir.
What do you want to forget? You want to forget my class?
No,
No, sir. All the bad
Sir,
things.
we remember, sir.
Subjects and
Happened in our life.
memories are remember and sad memories are forget.
But sometimes the bad memory is also good for to our future, I think.
All bad people,
Experiences.
bad people, bad things.
Because
Bad people.
they should push up to our
Lessons we have to remember.
We should take the lesson, but we should leave the bad thing.
Yes.
Take lesson only, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Bad things and bad people, bad incident will give us lessons. Good things, good persons, good incidents will give us memories. We should keep the memories and should forget the experience, bad experiences. Everything is for us only. Everything is good. Yes. All is well. All is well. That ends well. The principle that
Yes,
all
sir.
is well. All is well. All is well. If anything goes wrong, immediately you take the hand and keep on your against your chest and take a vow that all is well, all is well, all is well. Then everything disappears. Everything will be all right. Yes, for anything, even if you face the problems. Yeah. No, I remember that maybe a couple of years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago, I said the same thing in the classroom. If you are in trouble, simply you tell all is well, all is well, all is well. Then it will be all right. And fortunately, unfortunately, I don't know. I went to the exam hall as squad for the final exams. And one of my students from CDE, he was copying the answers. He was caught by me. And he was telling, sir, you taught us ELT and 18th century literature at that time. And I said, why you are copying? I taught so well and I have given you the material and all. Why are you copying? I asked. And he told me, sir, all is well, sir, all is well. And at a minute, I laughed myself and I gave him a polite warning and I came back from the examination hall. Now, sometimes we get this type of things, of course. Right, dear students, right, hope you understand the functions of elegy, how elegy makes the people, how it expresses feelings like sorrow, grief, lamentation, and how it deals and inspires the things of different literatures and different things. With this, we can conclude the discussion on this. And now we can move to, it's a time to move to another, any other text. Students, did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Understood, sir.
Yeah.
It's very
Now you can see my screen in a very clear manner.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yes, we cannot stop it, sir. Stop.
Really?
Really,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sure?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
100%.
No, I didn't stop. Really?
Really? Stop, sir.
Sir, it is not visible, sir, truly.
Now it is.
Now it is start, sir. Now it is start.
Okay, good. So you are good students. So that is very happy to teach you, because teaching to the good students always getting a sort of re-energy and getting the things well. Students, Samuel Johnson's preface to Shakespeare. Yes, I don't trouble you much and just talk about the biography of Samuel Johnson, and still I have preparing this material. This material will be given to you, maybe this material. That material will be sent to you after the class immediately. If you add me in the WhatsApp group, or any one of you remind me from your WhatsApp number to my WhatsApp number, so that I can send it to you and you can post it in your WhatsApp group. Samuel Johnson. Dr. Johnson, much popular as Dr. Johnson, father of English dictionary. Yes, born in London, and he was English critic. What not? He was versatile genius. He was biographer, essayist, poet, lexicographer, regarded as one of the greatest figures of the 18th century English literature. Yes. When you look at his early life, Johnson was son of Michael Johnson, who was a bookseller, and his wife Sarah. From childhood, he suffered from number of physical afflictions. Yes. And by own account, he was born almost dead. Yes. That was disease related to tuberculosis of lymphatic glands, and later he was because of his hard work and because of his study, he became one of the stalwarts of English literature. Yes, and really it's a big confusion where to start about discussion about Samuel Johnson. He studied at Oxford University. There, he was there for almost 1.5 years, almost 13 months, and he was much interested in writing. Yes, and he published a lot of works. Among them, he translated Alexander Pope's Messiah into Latin. Yes, that was his first noted publication. Yes. Then 1732 to 1733, he published a number of essays in the journal called Brigham Journal, in that he discussed various issues. In 1735, he married Elizabeth Porter. Very interestingly, she was a widow, and she was 20 years senior to him. He got married with 20 years senior lady, and in English it is not the matter, but Johnson's personal life and is very interesting, and sometimes we think of his happy and unhappy things. That is why preface to Shakespeare. Why I'm telling you all this is he was writing about Shakespeare, William Shakespeare. He was trying to give an overview on Shakespeare's writings. Before looking at his overview, we try to understand his personal life. Yes, and also talking about his things. Samuel Johnson's things, and he wrote number of works. Among them, 1738, Johnson began his association with Gentleman's Magazine, which influenced him. One of the influential writers, and Gentleman's Magazine often considered the first modern magazine in English. He soon contributed poetry, prose, and different aspects of the things like philosophy, sociology, and many other aspects. 1738 to 39, he published a series of satire works, attack to the government of Robert Walpole and other things. And talking about his contribution in other aspects, and he wrote about the politics of Whigs, Tories, Jacobites, and other political wings. He had a good vision on political things also. 1739, he published and translated the great work of Swiss writer Jean-Pierre Croiset's commentary on Pope's philosophical poem. And also he wrote a number of things. And now come to the present work, Preface to Shakespeare. Yes, Preface to Shakespeare is very important work, and in this we can see his vision. Yes, I'm trying to give you in an overview of Preface to Shakespeare, then we try to look at the things well. Yes, as I told you, 18th century legend Samuel Johnson was most significant figures in literature because of a widely read biography of him written by his friend James Boswell. We know James Boswell was the author of his biography, and best known works, and importantly best known for his dictionary, Johnson's dictionary in the year 1755, the first dictionary in English. Was much known for his compilation of his dictionary. Yes, the first great attempt, scientific attempt. Yes, and Johnson tried teaching and later organized a school in Lynchfield. His educational ventures were not successful. One of his students, David Garrick, later became an actor and became lifelong friend. And Johnson went to London to try the literary life, so that he worked sometime for magazine, and there he founded a great and influential periodical known as the Rambler. The Rambler was one of the influential magazine in those days. Yes. And later, 1758 to 1766, he published another important, The Idler, another important periodical. And Johnson's major work is concerned the lives of English poets. 1778, yes, when he was 70 years old, and it was completed in the year 1781. And this is a mix, a blend of biography and literary criticism. And when we talk about Shakespeare's commentary, Johnson's commentary on Shakespeare, that is Preface to Shakespeare, and in this, and Shakespeare characters are just a representation of human nature as they deal with the passion and the principles which are common to humanity. They are also true to the age, sex, profession to which they belong, and hence the speech of one cannot be put in the mouth of another. His characters are not exaggerated, even they are supernatural. The dialogues with the life and all. Thus, he tried to look at the William Shakespeare's merits and demerits in his preface to Shakespeare.
Sir, your presentation is not visible, sir.
I have stopped the
Yes,
presentation. I have stopped the presentation. In this way, preface to Shakespeare. Malati, I have stopped it.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, Preface to Shakespeare is a critical work by Samuel Johnson in which he tries to explain us the merits and demerits of Shakespearean works, how Shakespeare was good at different aspects, especially in exploring the human behavior, and how Shakespeare was not so successful in certain things. It was discussed by Samuel Johnson in his writing Preface to Shakespeare. Right? I stop the discussion here. Now, yes, this is the today I conclude the class because I am out of station. I am not in Hyderabad. I am somewhere. I came to some place, and maybe I may continue the class tomorrow. Do we have my class?
No, sir.
No.
Yes. Now you can take the break for lunch, and maybe you may join the class at 3 o'clock. Mr. Kiran will come and he will take the class. So I have engaged you in lunch hour so that you take this time for your lunch and the break. Okay, students, did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome. And one of you remind me about the material that I have showed you. I will send you to one of you, and you can share it to your WhatsApp group. Or if you add me in your WhatsApp group, I can send it to WhatsApp group, right?
Thank you, sir.
Student, shall we see you later? Bye bye. Bye. Take care. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.